Yeah, touch. Open your body, Sergio. Yeah, 1, 2. See if you can get the cross in. Oof. Unlucky. All right, Harry, we need you out here just to hold out the game. Only 10 minutes left. Let's go. Ah, come on. It's all right, Harry, head up. Next one. Just fix your mistake, mate. Next one, let's go. Just stay side on. Don't have to move, just show him one way. Stay side. Oh my gosh, man. Can't believe he paid 80 million. Big mistakes defenders make. So this first point that we will be talking about today has a reference to all players in all positions. And that first point is called delaying or closing down space. Delaying or closing down space is when you're able to minimize the distance between yourself and the ball carrier on the opposite team by not making them progress forward a lot easier than if you were away from them. So strikers, wingers, and even attacking midfielders who engage in a high press often are the first line of defense. Now their main goal is to try and win the ball back in the attacking half by rapidly closing down space and delaying the other team to make any progress forward who are trying to build up. This in turn can put higher pressure on the defensive team and disrupt their overall build-up play, and it can also force turnovers, making your team win the ball higher up on the pitch and have an easier opportunity to score. So when it comes to delaying as a fullback, you're pretty much making sure that you're not allowing the winger to get any easy touches towards goal, okay? If I'm here, he's got easy touches. He can go that way to get a cross in. He can also cut inside to get a shot in. There's also one more thing that he can do, which we won't talk about too much, but he can come towards me, take me on a lot more easily because he has more momentum. If I'm flat-footed here, that means he's gonna have more momentum to take me on, and then he's got less defenders in front of him. Okay, so it's making sure that you're delaying. Now, when we're delaying, we don't want to chop in too close. We don't want to come in too close, like this. If we do, he's just going to be able to take an easy touch to the left or to the right of him if he times it right. So making sure that when you're delaying, you're probably, I would say, around 2 meters away from him. So you're just here, and then whenever he moves the ball, you just want to shuffle with him. Now, when it comes to delaying as a centre back, it's entirely dependent on their situation.
So let's start off with a 2v1 scenario where there's 2 centre backs versus 1 attacker. The main aim for the centre backs in the defensive third is to make sure that they're protecting the middle of the goal. So they're like another set of goalposts. Now, in a situation like this where it's 2v1, I would say it's okay for one centre back to come out and delay the attacker in terms of him pushing forward. But what has to happen here is the other centre back has to cover for the attacker. Like we said, we have to make sure we're protecting the middle of the goal. The final scenario that we are going to talk about today when it comes to the centre back delaying is the 1v2 situation. So 1 centre back versus 2 attackers. Now in this situation, the main goal for the centre back is to protect the middle area of the goal. If this person comes out, it's just there's an easy pass out that way. And there's a lot of space for this guy to operate in. So I would say just as they're coming, you're tracking back. Here's an example of Van Dijk in a 2v1 situation where he tracks back while cutting off the pass to Son. Because of Van Dijk's positioning, he also makes Sissoko's run more predictable and easier to defend. Now, as soon as Van Dijk sees Sissoko decided to shoot, that's when he pounces to defend. I still think Sissoko should have scored, but I believe Van Dijk's patience in defense put him off entirely. You can tell he was trying to find a pass to Son, and he pretty much scrambled to shoot when he saw that he had no other choice.
Now, the second mistake that defenders tend to make when they are defending is not standing side on. For this point, I'm predominantly going to talk about the fullback's positioning, and I'll talk a little bit about the centre back as well, because their side on positioning can be very important during certain situations. So just like the previous point, if you don't delay, you give the winger as a fullback more options. So if you stand flat-footed, so you're standing and you're facing the player like this, then you're still giving them multiple options, because they're able to still go this way, they're able to still go that way, and they can still even try and take you on as well. But if you stand side on, you're already showing them the way to go. So I'm showing them to the line, and naturally as a defender, you should try and show them to the line, close down as much space as possible, because if you show them to the line, it's less space for them to play. So to stand side on, all you want to do is just shift your body or rotate your hips around to a 70 degree to 90 degree rotation, and you're pretty much just making sure that wherever the ball goes, you're shifting your back foot as well. So for example, I'm here, I'm standing side on. If the ball goes this way, I'm able to shift my back foot and then get back into position, okay? If it goes again, then I'm able to keep on adjusting myself all the time. Now, if the ball goes this way, I would still use my back foot to try and adjust my body, okay? If I do this, it just doesn't feel right. And also, did you see what happened there? What happened was I went further back. So I went further back away from the attacker. If I'm here, I can just quickly shift like this. Yeah, and I'm still in the same area. But if I shift my body like this, do you see how I'm further away? So you've got to make sure that if it goes this way, you're adjusted. But if it goes this way, you want to bring your back foot around, and then your left foot, if you're on the right, if you have your right foot at the back, your left foot becomes your back foot. Okay, so that's just another thing to keep in mind. Now, the third mistake that defenders tend to make when they are defending is diving in or not staying on their feet. This mistake usually happens when those first two mistakes aren't taken into consideration. I've seen a lot of times, even professional players, they rush into the ball to try and win it, and then they end up getting scooped past them because the attacker is able to see the situation and then quickly tap the ball in the opposite direction when they are diving in. To rectify this mistake, it's really important to obviously give yourself some space. So you're delaying, but you're giving yourself some space from the defender, and then you're standing side on. Okay, so you want to make sure you're ready for it and you're ready to pounce. Now, one of the things that you are going to be wanting to wait for as a defender is when they take a bad touch. When the attacker takes a bad touch and the ball's further away from his body than usual, then you can go in for the tackle. I would still try and stay on your feet though at all times. The worst thing that happens when you do dive in is that you're on the ground. And when you're on the ground, your attacker's already past you, so you don't get a second opportunity to win the ball back. If I'm here, if I'm standing still and if I'm jockeying, I'm doing the right thing, I'm delaying, I'm side on, I'm jockeying, and if I go in for a tackle and he skips past me, I'm still on my feet, I can readjust. It's all about anticipation. So making sure that you're waiting for a bad touch to happen and then you can pounce, all right? So that's just probably the main thing. But again, do not dive in, because if you fail, you're not going to be able to get up fast enough to get a second chance to win the ball back.
Thanks for watching. If you've already liked and subscribed, thank you. You are helping me out so much when you do that. You can check out my other videos here if you want to see more of the content I publish. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next vid.
Just delay. He's in a dangerous position. Just delay. Don't dive in. Delay. Oh, I don't know. How does this guy cost 80 million, eh? I have no idea. Is this guy 8 million, 80 million, or 8 cents?